The wild theory that this Fox News guest was wearing a hyper-realistic mask.
Welcome back, ADNC family. It's your girl, Shea Richburg, and let's jump right in. So this video, I'm talking about a gentleman whose neck was peeling as he was on one of the Fox News networks. And I think this came out, a couple weeks ago, but I needed to backtrack and talk to you about this. So this is not a new topic. We've talked about, I haven't, but I know there's been conversations before about masks and deception, especially in the Black community. And so now we had a gentleman recently that was on the news. He was talking and his mouth was not flapping. It was his neck that was flapping. Okay. So, he had a shirt on and I suspect the person thought that the neck was, tucked in, and it wasn't. You saw a big shadowy gap and it was moving as the person's mouth was moving. And everybody saw it. Everybody noticed it. I mean, it wasn't the elephant in the room. I mean, it was the whole house within a mansion in the room. It was crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy. And I'm sure a lot of you saw that video. But the thing that really bothered me about the video, it wasn't even that he had a mask on, because we all know that masks have been around forever. Have you ever seen a James Bond movie? Have you ever seen Mission Impossible? They put it out there, okay? They let you know what type of technology exists. It's just not accessible to you. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist, right? Of course. So we've seen these masks before in movies. We've talked about this before. We had a woman who was an ex-FBI agent. She came out and she explained how her company, I'm sorry, not her company, but the FBI, they had intricate masks that they used to go and talk to, different people all over the world. That's what they do. We're not getting into that, but that's just what they do. And they use these masks. And in this interview, they showed her the mask that looked just like somebody else. It was an exact replica, down to a cigar. Everything was fake, but it looked completely real. Okay. And so she's explaining, that's what they've done.
As chief of disguise, my major concern was always protecting people, protecting our case officers who were going into situations that might be dangerous, but importantly, protecting the foreign people that we were meeting with, who were very often risking their lives. If you were working in Europe and you were meeting with a clandestine source at a cafe, your biggest concern might be that your next door neighbor was going to wander into that cafe at that moment and say, "Hi, Bill," when you weren't Bill. And that kind of casual stumbling upon people was an issue. And so you'd wear what we called light disguise. Light disguise can be something as simple as a wig, maybe some facial hair, maybe some glasses, not a big deal. The other extreme is advanced disguise that you would use for up close and personal for an extended period of time, or the person you were talking to would have no idea that you were not in true face.
They've done this for years, ladies and gentlemen. So, it's been outed. And the thing about this, when this man was sitting on live TV, talking about, I don't even know what he was talking about. I don't know if anybody knows what he was talking about because they kept looking at his neck. Okay. But they know that it was not the person who was supposed to be talking.
That in all his appearances, several of which were as recent as this month, his neck appears completely normal.
Now, the person who the mask looked like was somebody that was in the military. It was a high-ranking gentleman who was in the military. And so there were side-by-side pictures of the actual man and then whoever was wearing the mask who was talking in that Fox News interview. And so it was a whole big debate after that. Not if it was about what he said. It was about if it was really a mask, or, was there, like, somebody was saying, was it just a shadow? Was it just the lighting that caused this gap, this flap and opening in his neck? And there were a lot of people that actually agreed with that and said, yes, it was just a gap. It was a shadow. It couldn't have been a mask. I mean, I don't know in what day and age we will have people understand the technology that is out there. And if you don't know about the technology, when we will accept the fact that there is technology we have never heard of, it exists. It is like a sci-fi movie. Okay. This is what we feel like we are living in at times, but it's for each individual to accept that, understand it, and learn what's out there. Okay. And so we've talked about this before. I just felt as though, this story had nothing to do with AI, but this story had to do with deception. and a false sense of reality and what is truth and what is false. And that, ladies and gentlemen, goes into AI. Okay. I'm a big advocate for, truth, not deception, for people, to just, put out information to help people to really have people aware of what's going on out there and counteract all the deception that's being placed out there. There's deception, everywhere on TV. There's deception online. There's deception everywhere. There's, everywhere you turn, there is deception. But we're living in an era where you really have to have a sharper eye. You just do. You have to have a sharper eye. You have to understand that there are things out there that's going to make, the truth very hard to decipher. If what you're looking at, is this real? Is this the truth? So as we're getting more and more into AI is refining itself. AI is really fine tuning what they're putting out, their products. You have to be vigilant and understand and not be caught into these AI scams. And an AI scam could be anything from, maybe a news reporter talking to you to anything, ladies and gentlemen. Seriously, I want you to know I'm not a scam. I'm a real person. This is not a mask on me because I just want you to know, there are people who are telling, truth information out there, right? It's truthful, it's real. And I'm not saying to be skeptical of everyone, ladies and gentlemen, but understand when something, doesn't seem right, that's just not right. Question it. Don't just go along with the flow. Don't say, I've never heard of somebody wearing, a mask and getting on TV. I've not heard of that. But again, I've seen movies where people do it. I've seen other things where people do it. So what would stop me from thinking, oh, maybe that's true. Maybe that's real. So, ladies and gentlemen, today was all about the difference between truth and deception in society. We have luxurious high-end masks that people are using. And we have, of course, AI that people are using. So stay truthful, stay vigilant, and stay aware. All right, until next episode, I'll see you then. Oh, and if you like this episode, don't forget to download the ADNC app. You'll see a lot of amazing videos just like this. And come on over and see me at SheaRichburg.com. Can't wait to see you there. Have a great day.